Welcome, everybody, to Guardsmania, Guardomaniacs. I'm Gary Fair. I'm live here with ES Green and Logan Bruce. Guys, welcome. What's going on?
Hey, great to be here, man. It was a rough series, but I'm ready to dive into some Guardians talk.
Yeah.
We're still in first place. It could be worse. It could be worse.
Sure.
We're still in first. There's another team there with us, but
hey,
we're still in first.
We are, and we're actually starting the show off with some breaking news. Cleveland Guardians, they have signed starting pitcher Brendan Sorsby. He is not allowed to play football or football, but now he can play baseball.
Excellent. There we go. And I believe Shedeur Sanders is getting traded to the Guardians.
That's what I heard for a third-round draft pick. Is that what I saw on Bleacher Report, right?
Yeah. Dylan Gabriel traded to be one of the ball boys.
Yeah, we need left-handed pop because we don't have any lefties on the Guardians, right?
Yeah.
No lefties, man.
Nope.
But, so the Guardians, man. Go ahead, Eric.
No, I'm just
no. Go ahead, Eric. No, go ahead.
I'll take it from here. Yeah, it was a rough series watching them lose games that the Guards need to win, like the Guards ball games. Mm-hmm. You know, those one-run games. And without those three guys, the top hitters, three of the top four hitters on the team, they just didn't have enough to take those games, and it's just frustrating. It's those hard ones to watch because they were there, especially the ones they had the lead and gave it back.
Yeah, right. For sure. They're not a deep enough team to have these type of injuries, but somehow, man, they're holding on, man. This is something that we've seen. We talk about Guards ball, right? The last couple years, somehow, some way, when we think that they are down and out, they somehow hold on. When you have your closer, is going to go to prison for 70 years for gambling. Somehow they go on a win streak and end up going to the playoffs. This year, you have the top third of your lineup goes on the disabled list, and you're holding on to first place somehow, some way. Especially when you have, a big part of your schedule against that second place team. So the Guardians are just finding a way to win right now.
I mean, dare I ask, is it time that we start believing that they're maybe not as good as we think they are? That they've overachieved? We know they've overachieved. I mean, eventually it's going to catch up with us. Hopefully we can just stay afloat. I hope not. But the odds say, I mean, that's when I get in the analytics and people hate me when I talk about analytics.
That's not why people hate you, Eric.
That's true. That's not why people hate me. What was that, Logan?
I said we got Kenny Atkinson here to talk about analytics and how well we are.
Yeah.
How bad we are.
Theoretically last year, the Pythagorean record was like 78-84 or whatever. Yeah. So they shouldn't even have been in the playoffs based on the amount of runs scored and runs given up. Not much better this year, and it's hard to consistently win like that. I mean, it's going to have to end at some point, or they're going to either step up and take off into the atmosphere. But right now, you look at the AL. There's only one team, Yankees. Every other team is kind of like,
but
mediocre.
That's why, listen, when analytics started in baseball, I loved them, right? Because it's something that I think can give you some insight into sports.
Right.
It's something that gives you insight. But these Pythagorean theorem, it doesn't mean anything, right? These guys where you have these ISO averages and, balls, what they're looking at Bo Naylor and you're going, man, Bo Naylor really should, numbers are saying, man, he's just really unlucky. It's no, the numbers aren't saying he's unlucky. What's really happening is you just don't really know what you're talking about. The eye test is the test,
right?
The numbers tell you what the eye.
They're really just a probability of what could happen.
The numbers tell you what happened. The numbers are, and the numbers aren't even necessarily probability, because the probability is trying to tell you what the future was, right?
Right.
The numbers are what the past was.
For the sake of the argument, I'll just say for football,
you got 3 hits out of 10 at bats.
Right. Well, you should expect that to continue. You should. I mean, but it's how long is long enough sample size? I think that's the question. Like with Stephen Kwan, what would have been a good sample size with him? Because he's probably be on the more poor side than he was on the good side of his career already.
Yeah. And I don't like, you can take a look at the numbers. I think Manzardo was a good example of it. Like at the start of the year, he was hitting very poor. He might still be, or kind of still is, but it was like he was like in the 100s, and all anybody kept talking about was like his solid contact rate and his exit velo. Like he was hitting the crap out of the ball, but it was always getting caught. And it's like, well, how long do you just let a guy hit the crap out of the ball and it gets caught?
I think you keep letting him.
Yeah. So that's why I don't know, like as far as analytics and everything, like if we're talking eye test, like we're still in first place. The problem is like I read an article the other day, and it was talking, and we'll talk about this later, but like the lack of power that we've been able to develop at first base and outfield specifically inside the organization. And it was like, well, you could argue that we're still successful because we finish first place every year. Well, we're routinely in like one of the poorest divisions in baseball. Detroit spends a little bit, Chicago does a little bit too, but like we're never really
kind of high.
Yeah, like we're just kind of in like, I don't know, like there's never really a World Series favorite in our division. So it's just like kind of whoever comes out on top is expected to lose to the Yankees in the playoffs.
Or the Red Sox, or
like
whoever's coming out of the East, really.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like at what point, like, does it become okay? Are we okay getting to the playoffs every year, knowing that we don't have anyone on our team that can hit 40 home runs? No one except for Jose, and now Bazana and CDL, like they're doing well too, but like there's not that guy that walks up into like steps to the plate and the pitchers are thinking shit. Again, probably outside of Jose. They're like, damn, like this guy's up. Like we have to be careful. I use Edwin Encarnacion as the example all the time because we went out and like brought in the power bat that we needed, and it was like Edwin steps up to the plate and the pitcher thinks, shit, this guy hit 42 home runs last year. We haven't been able to develop those guys, so it's a question for the front office, man. Like, are they okay finishing in first place and losing to the Yankees every year? Because if that's the case, then that's where we're at, and probably where we'll be at the end of the year.
And I think the answer to that is yes. And
they're okay with it.
And the proof is there. And you can see the answer to that question is yes, especially by, think about the guys that we signed. Now listen, Bazana has actually looked to be pretty good this year. I was not.
You know what we should do? We should extend him. That's what we need.
Get out of here, bro. That's a whole other conversation. But
yeah, we can have that later because I have some things I wanted to say. So we'll bring that up later.
But when we're talking about like what we need at this trade deadline, it's power. And we look at that draft. There were guys in that draft that had power, but we didn't draft them because of signability. And like Caglione, for example.
Well,
that dude has just unlimited power.
I know you love Caglione, but Kurtz is like leading the league in so many hitting categories and walks and stuff.
Caglione, right? There were guys that were in that draft that seemed to be like blue chip, can't miss. We're gonna be, but the Guardians just, they knew that not only were they going to take a much larger portion of that signing bonus pool, but they're thinking ahead of like when arbitration happens, right? They didn't want the arbitration bill on these guys, whereas. They like guys like Kwan, guys that can hit for average but have no power, that really don't have that much of a market out there. They're not going to have to, put out those huge arbitration paychecks.
Right. Not Bazana, a lot of competition from other teams.
For sure. Bazana, he's not a Gold Glover at second, and he's going to hit 20 home runs.
That seems like he could be a super, like the way he's the way he plays the game. Like it's early to tell either way, but I feel like that dude, like it seems like he could be a star in the making, just like but I get but my stupid ass wanted the Charlie Condon or whatever his name is, like the only one out of like the top 6 that isn't doing anything. That's who I wanted to take.
I liked him too, though.
Yeah. But like Caglione, like he's the last couple weeks he's been on a tear.
And Condon still is young. You know, he could still end up being, you know, what everybody thought he was going to be. Point being is that the Guardians aren't taking big swings on these guys. And then what ends up happening is that when you get into a point where you're contending, you know, then you got to end up paying big for these guys. And there's guys that are available right now that, you know, are out there, but you're going to have to pay a price for them. You know, we were talking before the show, you know, who's going to be out there on the trade market. You know, I was kind of like looking to see who's out there, who's in and out of contention. You know, Boston's got a roster full of guys that could be had. You know, they could be looking to dump payroll, man. I like Contreras and Duran. Maybe you could get those guys in a deal. It fixes part of your outfield, you know, with Duran hitting 199 and Contreras hitting 280, maybe going to hit 40 home runs this year. And he can spell you at catcher and first base. And you can do what you need to do with Rhys Hoskins, who, by the way, was really great for you at the beginning of the season, but kind of looks like he's out of gas here.
We kind of knew this wasn't going to be a full season long engagement with him. You know, we've seen this before. He's coming up, giving us innings, you know, giving us some depth. He's some leadership, but yeah, we're not going to be able to hold on to him hitting under 190 for too much longer.
Especially if you're just not pounding the ball, and he's not. You know, this isn't 34, 40 home run Rhys Hoskins anymore. He's 34 years old, and he's not Philly Rhys Hoskins, and that's unfortunate. But it's just, you know, father time catches up with everybody, and Rhys Hoskins is just not. You know, he's not prime Rhys Hoskins any longer. So the Guardians definitely, like, they're at a situation right now where, you know, they've got to make a move, and they've got to figure out what they're going to do. And, you know, Boston's got some guys that, you know, I think they're definitely in a position where maybe they can cut some salary, get some prospects, but also they got guys that are under control for the next couple of years. So, like, if you're going after a Contreras or a Duran, these aren't guys that are just rentals.
Right.
I think Duran's under control till 29. Contreras is this year, next year, and then has a player option for 28. So, you know, if you can put this together, you know, and Contreras isn't, like, the contract isn't that bad. It's like 17.5 million. So if you can get a guy for 18 million that's going to hit 30, 40 home runs, I don't know why that's not something that why you don't, you know, look at that.
If there's a guy like that, you definitely better be looking. They better be looking for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, especially with the money like Tucker got, and who's the other one that's not doing anything? Just got a huge contract.
Bishop says they need to bring back Brooke Jacoby. I mean, he's a right-handed power hitter, right?
Loved Brooke Jacoby. That was one of the OGs for me.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's a free agent too, I think, right? Brooke Jacoby's not on any team right now, right, guys?
No.
Yeah. Okay, I just want to make sure.
No.
And then I have to give up a draft pick to sign him. No compensation picks, right?
No. I'm going to pick him up in my fantasy league right after we get off.
Cool. Just want to make sure. And yours is a keeper league, right?
Absolutely. So I'll keep him forever.
Yeah.
I'll bury him.
Yeah, maybe Candy Maldonado. What do you think?
Some Kevin Mitchell. I love Kevin Mitchell.
What's your favorite? Do you have like a favorite Kevin Mitchell moment?
No, I would have to go back and watch him again. I could come up with one. That'll be my homework. I'll do that.
My favorite Kevin Mitchell moment is that he was playing for the Giants. I don't remember who they were playing, but it's that catch he made in that barehanded catch in the outfield into the wall. I don't think I've ever seen an outfielder make a barehanded catch.
Yeah.
In the outfield. Kevin Mitchell, man.
Yes. And then I remember everything I was trying to catch with my bare hand in practice, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Got to be Kevin Mitchell.
Oh, everybody, man. Yeah, man, I love Kevin Mitchell. And then they go, did everybody when that happened right around the time, I think like Jose Canseco too was with, was the Jose Canseco time. So like we all wanted to be Jose Canseco and we all wanted to be Kevin Mitchell. So you were trying to catch everything in the outfield barehanded, and we all had that stupid, goofy, Jose Canseco thing until Baerga came along. And then when Baerga came along, every one of us fat kids moved from catcher to second base and had the worst hope, it was the worst.
Gave hope to the clinically catcher in position. People who
and it sucked too because I was a good catcher. Like if I had stayed catching, I probably could have played into high school. Yeah, I wasn't like I was never a good hitter, but like I could catch. You know, I had good instincts behind the plate. I probably could have played into high school. Instead,
Patrick Bailey like.
Yeah, I mean not Patrick Bailey like, but maybe like I don't know who's like a good fat catcher in the leagues. He Alejandro Kirk, right?
Yeah,
you know he's a good fat catcher. You know, I hit 1 home run in the little leagues. You know,
I've never hit one over the fence in any league.
I didn't hit it over the fence. It was like because there wasn't fences in Lyndhurst at Brainerd Park. You know, so you could hit one and then and to be honest, it probably wasn't even a home run. It was probably like a double and then like a 2-base error. You know,
did you get it hit it to the shortstop and they threw it around and
dude, it just dribbled in front of home plate and then
little league home run.
Yeah, and I remember when I hit it, I thought I had a lot more coming after that.
Yeah,
I was like, "This is
man. I'm breaking out."
Many, And then
Gary has arrived.
I've arrived. I'm 11 years old. I'm going to hit more home runs. Then I never hit another one. 35 years, never hit another home run.
They always say you never know when you hit your last home run.
That's true. That's true. You never know when you're going to hit your first one. You never know when you're going to hit your last one.
And sometimes
my uncle always says that. You never know when you bowled your last strike is where it came from.
Yeah.
From bowling.
Do you remember your last home run, Logan?
Yeah. It was in high school. It was in a fall baseball game. And then that was, and then I made the switch to just be a pitcher. But I did lead my team in home runs every year, probably from 5th grade through freshman. I remember in 8th grade, we played 22 games and I had 11 home runs.
Wow.
It was pretty crazy.
But yeah, power hitter, bro.
I was actually very good at hitting. And I led our team in batting average when I was a freshman, but then I don't know, I felt like I was a pitcher also, and then I fell into the trap of thinking that I should just be one thing. So I just focused on pitching, and that's my biggest regret in baseball, besides drinking myself out of a scholarship. But that and deciding that I didn't want to get it.
How old are you now, Logan?
35.
35.
36,
okay, so
36 a week from today.
I don't know if I froze or you froze, but what
somebody froze? Yeah,
I said I'm 35 and going to be 36 a week from today.
Okay. Well, first of all, happy early birthday. Second of all, here's the thing. Jake Paul is talking about becoming like a slot receiver in the NFL. And I think that if he can do that, you can be a DH in Major League Baseball.
Yeah. I'm right-handed too. Exactly what they need.
And you're a hometown boy. Yeah. And you sing the songs that make the whole world sing. You sing the songs.
Whatever Dolan wants to pay me. Dolan wants to pay $10 for a player. I'll play for $10. Yeah.
And Bishop says that Corey Schneider is available. It's Corey Snyder, Snyder, not Schneider, just so you guys know.
And Corey Snyder was the first guy that I wanted to be. That was the first one ever. Yeah. Yeah.
My first guy I wanted to be was Gary Carter because his name was Gary.
There you go. That's what mine was Manny. I just remember like that was my first batting stance. It's like how he had his arms way back. And I couldn't use chewing tobacco at the age of 9, but like some big league chew right here, just as much as you could fit in your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what kind of parents did you have? They weren't allowing you to use real chew at 9.
I don't know. I started stealing their alcohol 2 years later, so I got them back.
You sure did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I bet if they had allowed you to use tobacco products at like 8 or 9 years old, you wouldn't have started drinking at 11.
Yeah.
It's
really their fault.
It's totally their fault.
You would have been like, I need to concentrate on one of these addictions.
That's right.
In both addictions.
Yeah. And and they're finding out that like nicotine is like one of those like super concentration drugs. You know what I mean? Like that it helps with ADHD. You probably would have had not only a baseball scholarship, you might have had an academic scholarship as well.
That's true. I mean, that was right when Adderall started getting big too. That would have been just on my way.
You could have boofed Adderall and tobacco products, and you would have been there for you, buddy.
Would have been a wild ride, I'm sure. I'm sure it was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
Speaking of Western rides, what do we have? The Mariners coming up this weekend. How's that for a trade?
Yeah. I did want to say, definitely something's going to be happening in left field. They've had Velasquez playing left, Engel playing left, Huff playing left. They're throwing everybody in left field down in Columbus and saying, catch the damn ball. See if you can catch the ball. I think they're looking to get Quan moved. That's what I would think. I don't know.
I mean, he's not even playing with everything that's going on. And the outfield, they're not even giving him a shot to re-win that position,
right?
Full time.
I don't know. That's fine if somebody steps up.
Healthy scratch a couple of times, or he hasn't been in the starting lineup a few times this last week? Is that what like twice or more?
Yeah, or maybe I don't remember how many games he played.
I know it was at least once, but because Vogt got questioned about it, it was just a healthy scratch from the lineup. It's like. It's only so much.
Yeah, he only had 16 at bats for the week, so 6 games, 16 at bats.
Maybe
full games.
One of them, he was just scratching. People were questioning why. Dude, I mean, Engel's hitting the cover off the ball still. I wish that he could work in outfield. Like,
hey, they're how bad can it be?
That's what I mean.
I kind of want to see. Just throw him out there and let's see.
Yeah.
Who cares if it loses all his trade value, if it blows everything? I want to see him by now. Let's go.
I mean, if he drops a fly ball or two, he's going to hit 20 or 30 home runs. It doesn't matter.
Listen, if he's hitting the ball, if he's seeing the ball that well, don't give him a glove. Give him a bat out there.
Yeah.
Let him hit the bat and let him hit the ball back into the infield.
I mean,
right?
We have to try something.
Yeah. I mean, that's analytically thinking outside the box.
Yep. So you don't know Sports Time Ohio or whatever the hell the channel is now.
I think it's just MLB now. It's just MLB.
MLB Network or what MLB. Yeah.
So is there anybody on this team now? Like, definitely teams out there are going to be looking for pitching in some sort of trade deal, and the Guardians, for the first time in a while, are not that deep in starting pitching. So you're not going to trade a Gavin Williams. You're not going to trade a Cade Smith. So with those guys with those guys automatically, you're saying you're not touching those. Are there any untouchables in a trade where you're saying like this? No matter what the return is, this guy is not going to be sent out.
Obvious one, Jose. And I don't think they would, and he wouldn't want to go.
I guess I'm talking more like, your young minor league guys.
Minor league, maybe not. Bazana, I think maybe Bazana.
Yeah, if they can't, like, I think Engel and all that, like, if they're trying to win a World Series, which we can again go back and forth on whether or not that's what they're actually trying to do. Like, nobody in the minor leagues would be untouchable. That's right. I think like Cooper Engel, again, like, he's hitting the crap out of the ball, but I don't know if you can go get, again, like, if he's Yordan Alvarez trade's probably not going to happen. But if they said we need Cooper Engel and Velasquez, and one other Tanner Bybee or something, and we'll give you like Yordan Alvarez, like, it's tough to make that trade, but I would listen to it.
Would you like if you're talking to Boston and it's Jalen Duren and Wilson Contreras and they want Cooper Engel and Velasquez and somebody else.
For who? Say that again.
For Wilson Contreras and Jalen Duren. Are you willing to talk about that? These are two guys that are controllable past this year.
I don't know. I don't really think so.
I think it needs to be like if you're trading Engel or Velasquez, like it needs to be a certified, and Contreras could kind of be that, I guess, but like a certified, like the last 3 years, the dude's hit 30 home runs or 40, and you know he's going to hit 40 with you.
I would go Quan in one of the prospects or something, and even another minor league prospect. But as far as Bybee, either, like you said it yourself, pitching's thin. We're so lucky this year. We're the only team that's only had five starters. Every other team's had at least 6. Some teams have 14 different starters this season.
Yeah,
we've had 5, which is amazing. Really. So depth, really, you don't want to mess with that. They sent Wilkinson off. Cal Steffens now, he's out for the year or longer with his surgery.
Which, by the way, he was damaged when we traded for him too. You know, we traded a damaged Bieber for a damaged Steffen. You know, so that
it happened.
It was damaged goods for damaged goods.
Yeah, and these kind of injuries for pitchers now happen like to half of the pitchers. It seems easily to half, even before they get to the pros.
It's a big deal, but also not. It's like, which is crazy. But it's almost like everybody's had this surgery done.
Right.
So
he'll just take a couple of years more to develop, and his window will be a little later. But we can't give up on him, right?
Yeah,
Not that we are.
Didn't want us to trade Bieber at all, but like I was glad when we got him in return. Like he is a top prospect. It's just now, like this sucks that now we're gonna have to wait another year. Also, you can probably start in Double-A again and just see where he's at. Like you wouldn't see him until 28 or 29, probably.
Yeah, at least if you do.
Yeah.
You know, guys with his, you know, it's like a Brady Aiken type thing, where it's
not
like
a guarantee. Yeah, you're gonna recover.
You know, who knows if they ever recover? You know, Daniel Espino.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, give a shout out to him for making it. That
for sure, man.
That was huge. It was really good to see.
Absolutely. I was a little teary-eyed.
For sure. It was great to see him. He came in and he pitched lights out, and then the next appearance,
gone.
Got hammered. You know, and that's how
as hard as he threw it in, it left the bat. Just as
for
hard.
Sure. You know.
Right.
So, you know, the pitching has been good and it's kept him in there, but they don't have a lot of depth there either. But with the way the Guardians have been, you know, they're always prospect rich, it seems. And especially with hitting, they get these middle infielders that they have, you know, they're these top prospects, and they don't pan out. And you're in a position where you can win now. Mm-hmm. And, you know, the White Sox, they're coming up, but you can put them away. And I just don't see a guy like Cooper Engel. It's great that he's hitting down in AAA, but if you don't have a defensive position for him, I just don't know what you're going to do with him. Right. You know, a big market team can do something. A big market team can take a guy like Cooper Engel and hide him at the DH.
Right.
He's never going to do any. That's never going to happen here.
Right.
You're never going to be able to have a guy like that just DH, which is why we had to get rid of Encarnacion. We signed him and we had him for those 2 years or year and a half that we had him. But if he goes into what happened here with Encarnacion? The guy went into a slump.
Yeah.
And he had to go, because if the bat is all that you're providing and a small market team like the Guardians, if that's all your value, and then you're of no value. And
it's kind of like Reese Hoskins country right at the moment.
For sure. If that's your only value, then and you go into a slump, you're providing no value.
And I didn't want to say also, Reese Hoskins reminds me of Logan. They have a very similar look.
Do you think maybe the reason why you've never seen them in the same place and same time?
Yeah,
I just wanted to see his reaction when I said that. Yeah, and now I'm convinced it's him.
Made sure we had our Thursday show today because I didn't have a game.
Yeah, he missed last week because he was playing.
Is that a Phillies hat you're wearing?
No, never.
And then he froze too. And then he froze.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, there we go.
You know, so a guy like Cooper Engel, you know, I just don't see him ever really providing. If that defense doesn't catch up somewhere real quick to that bat, I don't really know what kind of value he ever really provides a team like Cleveland.
I mean, he almost has more value now just being in the minors with the speculation. Mm-hmm. If he comes up and shows he can't play anywhere, it's automatically like, all right, we see what he looks like here. We can't work with this.
For sure.
His value's gone.
For sure. Got Ralphie Velasquez, right? It's great. He looks, you know, they're trying to figure him out in left field, and that's great. But like, the Guardians, and before that, the Indians, they're all the time, they're trying to turn first basemen into outfielders.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And when has that worked?
I mean, it should, to my mind, it should be the opposite.
Yeah, you turn outfielders into first baseman.
Right.
You know, but look at Big Christmas, and there's just so many examples of them trying to turn these first basemen into outfielders, and it never works. Richie Sexton, which is 30 years ago, but Russell Branyan, with first base, third base, turn him into a left fielder. They are constantly trying to take these bats with bad defense and turn them into left fielders. And it just seems as though it never works. So for me, if Manzardo is going to be your guy, and it seems like he is, he's got the power, right? And really, Manzardo, what does he hit? 220, 230. If he hits in today's game, he walks a good amount. So if he's going to hit 220, 230 and hit 25, 30 home runs, that's what you get at first base. Right?
Manzo's a bargain to me. He's not an issue.
So to me, I'm okay with giving up a Velasquez and an Engel for, something like what I was talking about with Boston. If you're getting like a twofer and something like that. If I'm not going to give them both up for, just one or the other, but if you can plug a couple holes, I think in a deal, I'm definitely with that. We talked last week. I would love Yordan Alvarez. That would be, that's the guy.
I mean, that's kind of like a dream scenario, right?
Oh, for sure. But you're giving up more than that. You're giving up Alvarez and Velasquez and Bybee and maybe even a Rocchio and something else too,
I think they would say, here's your list of, we want Velasquez and Engel. Here's the remaining list of your top 25 prospects. We want 3 of them.
Yeah.
And because you're getting about top 10 hitter or top 5 hitter in the game.
For sure.
What about Trout? Any interest in seeing him? Not that
I don't think
he'd
they
have
would
to agree
take
to
that
come here,
contract
but
at his age,
It's I would see they would have to pay half of it or something too.
Yeah. I would. I don't want to see him go to the Dodgers or the Yankees or anything. I'm just like, it's not sad because the dude's making a ton of money and he isn't like an all-time great, but it's like, I don't think of, like, when I think of the all-time greats, like, he doesn't even come to mind. And like, he's just stuck in LA losing, or they
he's the one guy that I wouldn't mind going to the Dodgers or the Yankees, to be honest.
So he can finally win something.
Yeah. He stayed loyal. Now, granted, he was in LA. It's a big market team, but think about, like, Ohtani didn't stay loyal to the Angels, and they could have given him the money that the Dodgers gave him. The guys, Bellinger didn't stay loyal to, Bellinger, Bellinger went around. Everybody bounces around. Trout stayed loyal to the Angels. And, I would like to see, at least at the end here, I'd like to see him rewarded for that. If the Angels aren't going to win, let him go. And he's not asking to be sent out either. And because of that, I'd like to see him rewarded a little bit. If he ended up again I would never root for the Yankees, but I would not be.
He likes the Yankees. Here we fucking go.
Yeah, but I would not be I would not be upset for, you know what I mean? I would be happy for him if that happened.
Yeah. Yeah. I would look if the Guardian, like, all the things to take into account with, like, Alvarez or even Trout, like, as if they would want to play here. Now, again, like, Alvarez doesn't have a no trade clause or anything, but
I put a graphic in there really quickly too to throw up. I want to go over something else about Trout.
Yeah, you can put it up, buddy. Go ahead.
It won't let me from here.
Okay.
It's doing it again at you. So there's Mike. Poor Mike. 90.4 career WAR. Number one, obviously, by far amongst active players.
How's that possible? When the hell did they ever win 90?
he's exactly. That's it's been a long time. It's been a few years, but 31st all time in Major League history. 31st already.
He played one series.
He's played one series, 3 total games, one
in the playoffs.
In the playoffs. That's his playoff numbers right there. 3 games. That's shameful.
So a guy like him, like I said, I wouldn't begrudge him going to a team like that. But would
be even better to see him win it there. But yeah, No, it's not going to happen. It's not going to
It'd
happen.
be pretty cool to see him win it here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Look, if we got Mike, that would be crazy. Again, he'd probably shut that down pretty quick. But
yeah, I would think so too.
If he's watching, we would love to have you, Mike.
Well, Mike has been emailing the show a lot here recently, and he's been asking about being a guest. And I've just been like, listen, man, we're Guardsmania. We're not Angels Mania.
Well, this isn't a fishing show, Mr. Trout.
Yeah, dude, this is not a fishing show.
Talk to us when your war is over 100. Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, when your war, I said, Mike, when your war gets you into the top 15 all time,
right?
Then we'll talk. You know what I mean?
My air ground. We're not wasting our time with you. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Listen, when you can pitch and hit, then we'll talk. But you only hit, So yeah, Mike Trout's not going to be on the show, guys. I'm sorry.
No. Throw him back.
So I think talking about trading these prospects and stuff. Again, I read that they pointed out Michael Brantley as the one outfielder that we developed as a power hitter, which I don't know he wasn't a power hitter, so I don't know why they brought it up, but it was
he hit 25 home runs.
Yeah, kind of. So I kind of got what they were saying, but it was we've never in the last 10, 15 years, we haven't developed a first baseman or an outfielder that can hit home runs. Now, I think when we're talking about trading, we've always said, we're just going to keep everything in-house. We're not trading our prospects as we trust our process. And then the process just kind of plays out how we talk about it every week, which is we can't really score too many runs and inconsistent hitting. I think guys like Bazana and DeLauder are actively screwing up the idea of them wanting to trade their prospects. Because I think they're going to sit there and say, wait a second, these young guys that we're bringing up are actually starting to hit. And if we thought they hoarded their prospects before, again, I think Bazana and CDL have made it even worse, to where they're starting to think that they can develop these hitters. That's just a tinfoil hat theory I have, but
we definitely need to see what they got at some point. I mean, there's no point of putting all the resources into them and not even giving them a shot. And then, you get Caminero, who's starting their third base all-star, Ernie Clement, second base all-star. I'd like to see him. But you don't know, right? If you could get a good enough return, if you get a proven player like we can for the playoff run here, I'm definitely good with trading those prospects.
Yeah,
I think there's more in the way.
So I do want to break some news here, you guys. I've sent out my resume to be the new general manager for the Cleveland Guardians.
Wow.
And I have been actually working. I'm talking about this trade so much because I'm actually been working with the general manager of Boston on this trade. So should this happen, this is actually going to be my first move.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm going to be depleting the farm system for the push this year.
It's funny. I applied for the same job on Indeed.
Yeah. I told them about your criminal record though. So yeah. I won't be. Yeah, I'm not that good of a friend. You know what I mean?
Your current job might pay more than what Dolan's paying the GM, so maybe think about it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't. We keep talking about the playoff push or World Series push. I don't know if the front office knows that that's what they're doing. I don't think they're viewing it that way. I think they know we've got these young guys, and next year's the year. I think they bring Cooper Ingle up in the next few weeks. He kind of bounces around to different positions. And then next year, he's more of you'll see him behind the plate a lot more.
Interesting.
Kind of what I'm thinking. Because you have to call him up. It's everyone's going to be okay, this dude's hitting 600 and hits 3 home runs every game. You have to call him up.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see how his catching is going.
Yeah.
Well, it's not, though. They're playing him in the outfield,
size. He's going back and forth.
That's why the Bailey trade didn't, we talked about it, and I liked it because he could play defense, I guess, but now it's you just clogged it up even more. So it's this dude that bad at playing catcher that you just said, okay, well, they have to have it. What's the plan for him then? Is it first base and Manzardo's him and Manzardo just switch off at first and DH? Because that could be a thing, I guess. Maybe I don't if Rhys Hoskins wasn't there,
Bo Naylor's heating up, albeit in the minor leagues.
Yeah, right.
I mean, does he get another shot?
He would be I wonder if we trade him. His trade value is not much. If we get some middle reliever or something that, we would just wonder why we even traded for this guy. But he seems like someone if he starts to get hot in the minors, then his trade value goes up slightly, and you just get some middle reliever that isn't Matt Festa.
They definitely need another solid piece in the bullpen for a playoff run. The bullpen's not where it should be, in my opinion.
Right.
Some of these guys have regressed.
Yeah, but it's hard. It's hard to do that though when you have. Listen, the starting pitchers, they do get a lot of credit, but this year I feel like they've gotten a little bit more credit than they really should be. We had, for how long was it Slade Ciccone couldn't get out of the fifth?
Yeah.
We put a lot of miles on this bullpen early on in the year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You've seen a few guys come and go, and you trying out some arms here and there.
Yeah.
Peyton Pallette gone. He's back at the White Sox.
For sure. So
took a chance.
Yeah. So it's going to be, so the bullpen has had it rough this year already.
Cade Smith, they tried to get him to go 2 innings the other day. That was,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that shows the lack of faith in the bullpen. I guess I don't know if Hunter Gaddis couldn't pitch, he wasn't available that day because he pitched the day before or what.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Cade Smith ended up, I mean, it was a check swing for whatever happened. It was just a bad inning, but he ended up blowing it in the 9th because they tried to get him to go 2 innings.
Yeah.
Which was,
that was that check swing. I mean,
I was like, dude, are you kidding? That was crazy.
Especially after watching Rhys Hoskins wave at 2 balls in a row. It was 3-1. 3-1 count. Let one go. Don't check swing twice and get called out. And that's exactly what he did. I mean, and then the guy came up the next inning and showed him, say, if you check swing, you got to hit it here. And they got the hit from a check swing, and it was ridiculous. Just like that. It kind of just picked at picked at the wound.
Yeah. that was a crazy way to lose. So I'm glad we didn't get swept. That was, I mean, obviously a plus, but
yeah.
And we play them again is it next week we play them again? Or maybe it was
at the end of the homestand here, we play them 4 in a row.
Yeah. Okay. So we have, I mean, this could be, I mean, it could be a tough stretch with Seattle coming up this weekend, and then Chicago.
And this was supposed to be the easy part of the schedule.
Yeah, that's what
they said.
So we have Seattle this weekend. Then on Monday, the Rangers come to town, and then the White Sox come to town.
Nothing easy. Nothing easy. That's why we play the games.
It is.
Guards ball it. Just find a way to win.
Got to get back to that. I just hopefully these guys can heat up and give up enough firepower. What's your guys' first takes on Khalil Watson?
He's been a guy that I've liked for a while.
Mm-hmm.
We got him in the Josh Bell trade.
All right. He was a shortstop then, right?
Yeah, he was a shortstop, second baseman, middle infielder, moved him to the outfield. And he was a top prospect for Florida or Miami.
First round pick, right?
Yeah, we've been kind of waiting on him for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just really I'm rooting for him. If he is a guy that if he can lock this down, he solves a lot of problems for the Guardians.
Absolutely.
So really just
excited to see him.
I am. Yeah.
I mean, after those first 10 at bats, throw those out and let's kind of see what he does from here. For whatever reason, he started with a slump. He was cold. He was nervous.
Mm-hmm.
It's over.
Yep.
It's over.
Bazana's in there. Bazana had the same thing happen. He's definitely probably has some words of encouragement for him because Bazana started off extremely slow.
In the majors?
We
were talking about DeLauder. Never mind. Yeah, Bazana started off slow. You're right.
Yeah, well, DeLauder did because he dropped a fly ball in the playoffs. But
that's true.
Yeah, but yeah. I think Watson, he hit his first home run the other day, right? He knocked over a couple games now. Yeah,
he did.
I think I have some numbers there, the who's hot numbers, if you want to throw those up.
Yeah, you got it. So who is hot? So Bazana is back on a streak here, 9 for his last 27, 333 batting average, 1.123 OPS. Rocchio,
nice.
He is just staying hot, man, hitting 300 in his last 30. And then Khalil Watson, 5 for his last 21, 238 batting average, 6 RBI.
6 RBI, yep. That's why.
What did I say?
No, you said 6, but I'm just emphasizing that's the reason he's on there.
Yeah. But I think even so, just for, coming up here, if you're hitting 238 right now, and if you're going to play a good center field.
And like we said, if you take those first 10 at bats, it's 5 for 11 or 5 for 12 or something.
Yeah.
So,
and the starting rotation, the big one here for me on the starting rotation is if 6 games pitched, 45 innings pitched, that's 7 innings a game.
Yep.
Yeah. That's you're finally giving your bullpen a little bit of a rest here.
Yep. And they definitely needed it.
Yeah, for sure.
I think Quan gets traded for a starting pitcher or like a AAA starting pitcher that they anticipate is going to be coming up pretty soon.
I mean, they're throwing we said they're throwing everybody at the wall at left field in Columbus, it seems. So they're looking for somebody to take that spot. I mean, that would put Watson center? Delauder played right.
Yeah. But then like Schneeman's always, God knows where he's going to play, but he plays the outfield. He can play anywhere out there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you get. The problem with Quan is I don't know what you get. I mean, does he have a good track record? For sure. The problem with Quan though is he doesn't have any power, and now he's not hitting for average. And he's not, he's not a burner on the bases, and he's a Gold Glover in left field, but he's a Gold Glover in left field without any power. It's not hitting.
I mean,
it's not like he's a center fielder who's a Gold Glover.
Is he too expensive for, say, in LA to just grab him and throw him on the bench? And of course, they have in his pocketbooks, but
yeah, I mean, I don't think that's a thing. But then, what is LA going to give you for him?
Not much. That would be
that's what I would say. They'd be giving you 2 minor league starters, one that's probably in A ball, and then the other one in AAA that would be coming up kind of soon.
29-year-old in AAA.
Yeah. I don't have anybody. There's no room.
Yeah, that's what you're going to get. Is you're
Stuart Fairchild.
Yeah, I think you can get something for every hitting coach in the league is looking like if their GM comes to them and asks about Quan, any hitting coach is going to say, yeah, I can fix it. Like we can get him back. Yeah, I do. Like you don't hit 300 by mistake.
He's never hit 300,
280, 290, whatever it is. Like this is his, I guess since the middle of last year, but it's not like he has a longer track record than just the last 12 months.
Yeah, but so if you actually like look at his stats, he has had Stephen Kwan has had he's had like pieces of years where he's hit like 300, right?
Yeah.
But like if you look, he has hit 298 in 147 games. Then 268, 292, 272, 211. He's a career 275 hitter.
Mm-hmm.
With an OPS of 725 in his career.
So I think
that 725 is barely a replacement player.
I mean, he's also, he's not, you're right. He's not a Gold Glove center fielder, but he's a Gold Glover nonetheless. Like
in left field.
Yeah, but there's other left fielders in the league that aren't winning that award. They're
for sure, but there are
29 of them.
For sure. But those guys, for the amount of times that you need a Gold Glover in left field, those guys are making bigger differences with their offense.
Yeah, that's what his value, I'm saying, is here. He's got a decent WAR these years, but it was must be defensive. Must be for defensive reasons.
And I don't really buy WAR, to be honest.
Yeah, to me, I really feel like it's WAR is. I'm souring on it. I am.
WAR is kind of like it's made up. WAR is made up.
Everything's made up.
Everything's made up, but no, not everything's made up. Batting average isn't made up. Batting average is how many times you got to hit, and RBIs are how many runs you knocked in, and runs are how many times you crossed home plate.
Yeah, but
errors are how many times. You know what I mean? There are some stats that are stats. WAR is not a real stat.
Gotcha. I get what you're saying.
I think there are teams that will look at Quan, and they're not saying Stephen Quan, like the Mariners, for example. Like, they're not saying if we get Stephen Quan, like, that'll put us over the top. I don't think any team is thinking that. I think teams are thinking, okay, he didn't hit 3. If we get a Gold Glover that starts hitting 260, 270 again, and all we have to give up are a couple prospects, like, they would do that if it helps their team overall. Like, I don't think a lot of teams probably aren't looking at him like he's washed and like he's never going to be good again, except for us probably, because we've been watching it for the last 12 months. But
yeah, I mean, and like, if you really look at it in the last 2 years, right? So if you look at it, if you go back to 2024, he started off the first half of the year and he was hitting 400, right? You remember that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he ended that year hitting 292. So he dropped that second half of the season, he dropped his batting average 100, which means that he was hitting 150 the rest of that year. Last year, he hit 100? He hit like 150 the second half of the year. Mm-hmm. This year, he's hitting 211. So this is now the third year in a row where he has showed that, the only the only year that he has been consistently good all year was his rookie year, 2022. He hit 298.
Right.
That was 4 years ago.
Yeah. I don't think he's like washed up he's not winning anybody a World Series, but I think there are teams that will look at him and say, yeah, this guy does make our team better. It's just what they're willing to give up for him. And honestly, maybe the change of scenery is what he would also like benefit from. And, not having to worry about which platoon player is taking his spot today, which that's on him for like getting to the point where his spot's getting taken by platoon guys. But I don't like it, not that Miami would be a great spot for him, but somewhere there where it's just like, all right, he's our start. Like, he's our third best player now because Miami's not good. And it's just like, all right, Stephen Quan is our new star player here in Miami, and he's playing every single day. Like, something like that, just where there's no stress.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see. The Guardians, they finished it up with the White Sox here. This was a few days ago, but as we were saying before, at least, we didn't get swept.
Right.
But we definitely need to see something more out of them coming up here in the next week. We have Seattle.
All 1-run games, too. Those are all 1-run games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have Seattle coming up here. And, a sweep would be nice.
Yeah. Started off tomorrow with a nice exclamation point. Well, can you put an exclamation point at the beginning? Yeah, I guess you can. Put it wherever you want, right? We'll put an exclamation point at the beginning and the end of this series.
Yeah.
For sure.
Man, Castillo having a great year.
What's that?
Castillo.
Yeah, he's not really.
Yeah, he's
not the Castillo that you remember over in Toronto.
Right.
So we're just you're hoping. You got to at least win 2 out of 3. Because
they got to start winning series again. Yeah,
for sure. Because when you look at these standings here, they were doing really well, but now you're 3 games above 500. You're lucky that the White Sox are 4-6 in their last 10, and it seems like 4 of those wins are against you. So
yeah,
or 3 out of those 4 or whatever it is are against you.
And we play the Twins after the White Sox too.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to be like all gloom and doom, but like depending how the series go before the Twins come to town.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this is what would happen, but it could happen to where the Twins are in a position to take second place from us if this homestand doesn't go very well.
Yeah.
They were hot. They've been hot.
Yeah.
As far as a change of scenery, who I'd like to see get a change of scenery? Poor Gabby. I picked on him earlier in the week, but I'm going to do it again. Gabriel Arias is just bad. His 7 strikeouts in a row.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And did you see him throw like half-ass that ball to first base? And it was Hoskins yelled at him. Yeah. And he was like, but his reaction was like, he was like didn't receive it well. He's like, I'll do what I want. that was such a half-assed throw. He failed to run out a drop third strike
after he struck out times before.
After he struck out all those times, and
or fought forward, whatever.
I mean, and the ball went way back. It would have been a close play. It would have had to the catcher would have had to rush, and there's nothing, no hustle. So I was so stoked when he didn't play the next two games, because Vogt clearly noticed it, and I just
it's getting
send him back down.
Yeah,
send him back down.
At this point,
you don't want to be here.
He's becoming a target, and maybe rightfully so, but it's like us right now, everybody's focused on him. And that's not beneficial for him to start hitting well, when the whole city starts to dislike him and blame him for us not being good. But that's kind of where it is right now. I agree. I think it's at least send him down. He has no trade value whatsoever. That's where you'd trade him for some cash or a player to be named later. Like, you get nothing for him, but it might free up some room on the roster.
Just his attitude and hustle over the last series, the last game he played was just not acceptable for me. And if I was a manager,
especially coming back from injury, and Bazana,
he was raking at AAA.
Yeah,
over 1.0 OPS, 2 or 3 home runs.
He's a quadruple A player.
Yeah.
I mean, that's right. With Bazana lighting it up, Rocchio lighting it up, Jose's on his way back. It's like, I don't understand the thought process of hot dogging that throw. Like, that throw was crazy. Like, that's something you need to show off that you know how to get the bounce.
I mean, it was halfway up, like up to his waist.
Yeah, and he didn't.
That's a tough play to make.
Bounce it,
right. First baseman, right?
Yeah, so it's like you're about to lose your job when Jose comes back, unless you give Vogt a reason to start using you as like the fill-in for Bazana and Rocchio when people get tired. And it seems like he's not even like mentally there.
Seriously, how does this guy go 5 for 15, 3 homers, 1377 OPS, and then come right to the majors and strike out 7 times in a row? I mean, I think that says all we need to say, right?
Yeah.
That AAA, that quad A guy, because he was raking down there. I was excited. Listen, I was the biggest Gabriel Arias fan. I had him on my fantasy team. I was betting big on him. As a matter of fact, I let Angel Martinez go and kept him. So
I think he just needs to cut that dumb hair off.
Yeah.
That would help.
I think it's that stupid haircut that he has.
Maybe stop having kids. I don't know. I guess it's not my point to say, but he's got like 6 kids already.
Man,
he's got to keep his ass busy.
One for every strikeout last Tuesday. He's just taking up a spot on the roster right now.
Yep.
Just drinking too much Gatorade.
All right, guys. So I think we're gonna head out here after this one. So next week, we're gonna start doing some of these shows in the morning. Some of the Guardsmanias in the morning here. So we will still be bringing you, best Guardians coverage in all of the land. Sometimes it'll be 2 of us, sometimes it'll be 3 of us. It'll be a combination of us, but we're going to start bringing you these shows in the morning. Do you guys anything else that you want to tell all these Guardomaniacs?
Logan?
Extend Travis Bazana.
#extend.
He's our extend him big. Yeah. He's our best player right now until Jose comes back.
I'll just say I'm gonna predict we'll take 2 of these 3. It's not a bold prediction or anything for this series. Will we be back before the Chicago series? No, we won't. We'll be like in the middle of it. So, all right, no, I'm good.
And I'm
They're
making
not listening to me. They came tuned in for you, Gary. So
no, they tuned in for you. You have all the great graphics. You keep everybody updated. Like, really, man, you are the heart and soul of this.
I appreciate it.
Brought this guy in earlier on.
I feel like I'm bothering people by putting stuff out. It's like,
no. That's what you're supposed to do, man.
Yeah, I gotta get used to that.
Yeah. And then, so my bold prediction of the week is that by the time we do another show, both Jordan Alvarez and Wilson Contreras are going to be Guardians.
Whoa.
And Travis Mazzana, Jose Ramirez, Chase DeLauder, and Parker Messick will not be then, because that's who we get.
No, they're all going to be here too.
No.
They're all going to be here too. I don't know how it's going to happen.
The whole Columbus Clippers team. We'll replace them. Trade the Clippers for those guys.
Aren't you cool with that?
I don't care.
The Clippers? Yeah, I'll trade the whole Clippers for those guys.
I'll trade Columbus for that.
Yeah. I'm not a Buckeye fan, so you had to send them the whole city.
Yeah, man, you're talking to two Michigan guys here.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't care either way.
I'm not even really a Michigan guy. I'm just an anti-Ohio State guy.
I remember you said that the first Browns podcast we did, and that's good enough. That's all I need.
Yeah, man. And it's not even that I even hate Ohio State. I don't like Ohio State fans.
Yeah,
it's the people. You know what I mean? I don't like the people. So,
I mean, my daughter wants to go to Ohio State, so I got to watch what I'm saying.
Your daughter wants to go to Ohio State?
Mm-hmm.
Get out of here, dude. I thought you raised her better.
Marching band, man. She's in marching band. She's really into marching band and all that kind of stuff. So they got one of the best bands.
That would be awesome to be in the Ohio State band.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's
way cooler than being on their football team. I'll tell you that much.
Well, the music director now at West G was the head of was the lead guy when he went to Ohio State in the band. What do they call that lead guy? I don't know the band terms.
So
the special lead
head nerd.
The head nerd. That's it.
The big dork. All right, guys. For Logan Bruce Music, for ES Green, I'm Gary Fair. Thank you, Guardsmaniacs, for joining us. We will see you next week. And as always, what you gonna do when the Guardians run wild on you? Bye.
Good night.
I don't want to leave the studio. I want to end the show. Okay, bye.